What's up guys, Jimmo here with RefinishNetwork.com. So I've been reading a lot of the comments over the last little while, and it seems that my how-to videos aren't giving quite enough how-to for some of the new guys to the trade. So I'm going to try and fix that over the next little while. I'll be building a playlist that you can get on my channel, and it'll be doing auto body repair from start to finish, that's body to paint. And as time goes on, I'll keep updating that section and keep it as current and relevant as possible. So the idea is the videos are going to flow into one another, and you'll have to pretty well watch the series from start to finish to get the most out of it. So let's not waste any time, we'll get right into it here. So the first thing you want to do pretty well on any job is to wash down the vehicle or part that you're working on, and it'll give you the opportunity to inspect it and make sure that there's no hidden damage that you didn't see previously. So make sure you go over the panel really well and spot out anything that you're going to be repairing. And what you're going to need to do is tear down the vehicle. So you'll be removing any trim items. That would include belt moldings, mirrors, bumpers, door handles, moldings, anything that rubs up tight against the paint. So what you're trying to achieve ultimately is being able to sand the entire panel without being restricted by any trim pieces. Anything that's close up against the paint won't let you sand it well, and what can potentially happen is your paint will start to peel from that area. You'll need to remove the trim from not only the panels that you're going to be fixing the damage on, but any panel that's close enough that you're going to require bringing color into for blending purposes. So we're going to have to skip ahead a bit and talk a bit about blending, so you'll have an idea on the flow of things and what panels you'll need to take apart when. Now here I'll just provide you with the basics on blending. When we get a bit further ahead into the painting section, I'll get into more detail about it. So the basic reason that we need to blend is because the color that we're going to be spraying is not going to match the color that was on the car originally. Now there's several different reasons for it. Now one simple reason, especially in the case of metallic paints, would be that the color changes depending on the pressure it's sprayed at. And I can give you an example of that here. If you look at these spray out cards, you'll see on one side they were sprayed at a higher pressure, giving you a lighter color. At the other side they're sprayed with a lower pressure, and that gives you a darker color. Now it has to do with how the metallics settle and reflect light. Now there's several different reasons on why you have to blend. At this point it's just important that you know that you need to blend, and depending on what color you're dealing with you may need more or less room. So a quick estimate on how much blending space you would need for a new painter on a solid color, you'd probably be looking at a foot of blending space. If it was a lighter metallic color, then you'd probably be about 2 feet, but there's a lot of variables, so just use this as a rough kind of guide for this point, and we'll move ahead. So this green dot is where our dent is on the panel, and this is where our primer goes to, and this is about how far we're going to need to blend our base out. And we'll have to apply clear coat over the entire quarter panel. Now there are instances where it's more practical to blend the clear coat out, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the painting side of things. So if that dent happened to be a bit closer to the door, as you can see our blending would go into that door. So at this point we would want to tear down all the trim off of that door, knowing that we're going to be bringing our color into that panel. Now bumpers are a bit of a gray area. You'll notice most bumpers from the factory are off slightly. Depending on the color, you'll usually get away with not blending into the bumper. If you choose to do that, then by all means go for it, but a lot of body shops I've been at don't bother blending color into the bumper, and we can usually get a good enough match that people are satisfied with it. So one last note before we jump into this repair, you'll want to not only wash down the car with soap and water, but you'll also want to use a solvent-based cleaner to remove any wax and silicone off of the panel before you begin, because they can cause fisheye problems down the road and also adhesion problems with your filler. So make sure you take the time to do that as well.